You're fucking annoying. Don't!
Just humped.
So, don't fuck with me.
Alright, time to go.
Ah!
That's what
My
you did that to me on the last video. Alright, truce. Truce.
Truce.
You can cry. You did that blatantly in front of me. You can.
Alright, talk to the camera now. We're talking about how we're gay, why we're gay, how we came out.
Alright.
We don't know how we're gay. We don't know why we're gay.
Let the scientists worry about that. All I can say is, I was born this way, baby.
Oh God. Tell everyone how you became a raging homosexual.
This is our coming out video, although we're already out.
We're gonna tell you how
It all went down.
we came out.
A lot of people have been asking for us to talk about coming out. At first I was a little like, I don't know if I want to talk about this.
That's not for me.
But I feel like we should talk about it. I guess I'm gonna start.
Do you need your own camera?
I need space to scoot forward and I need to scoot left.
You need to suck it in if you're gonna wear a shirt with a giant hole in it.
They can't see my giant hole.
Stand up and show the people. Suck it in, dad body. Suck it in.
Look at my shirt.
Curvature gives it away. We're gonna talk about coming out.
To the world.
To the world.
So that's me.
Who was the first person that you told you were gay?
Who's the first person I told that I was gay? I think it was my cousins Misty and Crystal. That's who I would guess. I have a terrible memory, but I'm pretty sure that they would probably be the first people that I told that I was gay. We were super close growing up. I was close with a lot of my cousins, but at that point in my life, that was also in high school. But here's the thing, and I'm sure this is the case for a lot of people during the whole coming out process. I didn't immediately go just from like being closeted to gay. For the longest time, I think all through high school I said that I was bisexual. And I think that I don't think, actually, I know the reason now, looking back. The reason that I said that was because I was so much holding on to the idea of wanting to have like a wife and a family and making kids. And I thought that you had to have a wife in order to have kids and have that family unit. Obviously now that's not the case, so all through high school I said that I was bisexual and that I liked girls, but I didn't really like girls. It was like being gay.
Sorry, ladies.
I knew
since
I was little. I remember being like tiny and thinking that it was some sort of weird phase. I remember going through puberty when I was like 12 and thinking that it was part of puberty, that maybe that I was going to eventually grow out of it, but I didn't. So I didn't actually come to terms with the fact that I was fully gay, I think, until maybe when I was like 18, 19. But you know what? I remember coming out to my brother when I was in high school as well. I probably came out to my brother really soon too. So I don't remember who the first person was, but it was either Misty, Crystal, Kyla, or my brother Mikey. One of them. And
I know the story about Mikey, so I'm gonna say that we're gonna say Mikey was the first person that you told.
So I'm gonna tell the story about Mikey and Kyla because these are like, I have two very specific stories about the two of them. So my brother, when I was in high school, I did a lot of community theater, and there was one, and Mikey and I shared a bedroom for a large part of growing up. And one night I was like packing my bag because I was going to spend the night at my boyfriend's house, but there was like a bunch of us theater kids all spending the night. And I remember being on the floor packing my bag, and my brother was laying in bed like as he was falling asleep. And I rolled over and he asked me, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to Lucas's house." He said, "Oh." I just kept folding my bags, and he said, "Is Lucas your boyfriend?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, so you're gay?" I said, yeah. And he goes, me too. And he just rolled over and went to sleep. And I was like, no. And I was like, no, you're not. But I think that's really, I thank you for saying that. And he said, I know, I'm not, but I still love you anyway. And that was like how it went down with my brother. It was really like the sweetest thing ever.
That's pretty damn sweet. It's pretty sweet.
I mean, it always makes me tear up telling the story. But it was really sweet. And then my cousin Kyla, I remember when talking to her about it, and she, when we talked about it, because I talked to her, I think, a lot about it, because we were really close in high school too. We went to the same high school, and she was a cheerleader and I was a drama kid, but she would pick me up every morning to drive me to school. And we had lots of conversations about it. And I remember one time talking about like having to come out to the family and how I was so scared and nervous. And she just flat out told me, she was like, Matt, they all know. They talk about it at family dinners when you're not there. They know. And I was like, what? I was so embarrassed, but I was extremely fortunate, and I know that that's not the case for a lot of people, especially being that like this was, I mean, like 13, 14 years ago. But so my cousin, I think having that support from my cousin and my brother, or my cousins and my brother and my friends at the time, because I was in the theater department, so I had a lot of like friends that were very supportive. I was very fortunate during the whole initial coming out part. And then I remember coming out to my mom. I came out to my mom when I was 18. And I remember it so clearly. I was sitting, as bad of a memory as I have, I do remember these moments very clearly. I remember sitting at the little like bar, like that's like off in our kitchen. I was off of our kitchen at the time, and my mom was doing something in the kitchen, and I was sitting at the bar. And I remember telling her, and her just being like, yeah, I know, and I love you. Everybody knew.
Oh, Mama D.
But she was so sweet as well, and she just, awesome. And it was cool because she had my back, because I was my dad. Like, I think the dads are always a little bit more hard, like a little bit. It's more difficult. So she was very respectful, and she said, you know, are you going to tell your dad? And I said, yeah, I want to tell him, but I don't know when or how. But will you let me do it? And she was very supportive, and she said, of course, I won't say anything to your father, and you can do it on your time, and I love you, and all those things. And then eventually, I told my father, I remember my parents were going through a divorce, and I was driving to a movie to meet my brothers and sister, and my dad and I were in the car together, and I said to my dad, hey Dad, you know, like, are you gonna be around later tonight? I wanna come over, I wanna talk to you about something. He was like, yeah. And we kind of sat in silence, and he said, but Matt, if you're gonna tell me you're gay, I already know, and it's cool. Oh. And I love you. Every time I tried to come out to somebody, they already knew. So anyway, my dad said, I already know, I love you, let's not make it a big deal. And that was kind of it. And then we went to see the movie, and everything was cool.
It's too close. Ask me a question.
Ask me a question.
Ask me. Anyway. Alright, we're back.
So that was my coming out story. Blue, why don't you tell us your coming out story?
My homecoming?
Your homecoming story.
Homecoming?
Your coming out story.
I actually went to homecoming with this girl named Kim. She was awesome. I had a little crush on her. She had blonde curly hair. It was just around the time that Joan Osborne, One of Us, came out. And if you guys don't know that song because you're so young, go listen to that song. You should know that song. What if God was one of us?
Just a slob.
But she had curly hair like Joan Osborne. I hot glued some gold ribbon, some gold thread, down the side of my tuxedo pants. I wanted to look like Elvis, but that's why I'm telling this story, because if you didn't know then, if Madonna didn't give it away, Mom, she definitely suspected it as I was growing up. Yeah, I do. But when she was one of the first people, I mean, I told other people.
Who was the first person you told that you were gay?
I mean, the first person that I remember that I told, right? I remember calling my mom and just kind of breaking down because I needed somebody to talk to. I felt so lost and I was sad. There was like a moment of silence. She didn't say anything, and she, I don't know, she was supportive, very supportive. But there was something in the conversation that made me think that she kind of knew. But what she did say, that I've actually never confronted her about, is that she did tell me she wouldn't tell my dad. And 2 days later, my dad calls me and says, so I just talked to your mom, and I just want you to know that I love you and accept you for who you are. I've always loved you. I always will.
But do you think that probably made it easier because then you didn't have to actually have that conversation?
No, absolutely. Like, my mom did the right thing.
Like,
she knew.
Who knows what the conversation was between the two of them that led her to say that? She probably, like, in the moment could have been like, listen, he doesn't care. Are you kidding me?
My mom hung up the phone. My dad was sitting next to her. She's like, so guess what? Guess who just called me?
In here.
Guess who's gay?
What about your grandmother?
Oh, I did tell my grandmother. There is a songwriter named Franny Goldie. I was talking to Franny one day, and she said to me, she said, Blue, no relationship that you ever have is going to be meaningful unless you are 100% yourself. And only then, if that person truly knows who you are, is that relationship authentic. And only then is it true. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Hung up the phone, and I thinking about it for days. I was thinking about what she was saying, and I was like, she's right. Like, the person that my grandmother loves, and we talk on the phone, and I go and see her, and she says, I love you, and she slaps me on the cheek, she gives me a kiss, she sends me with cookies. That person is not who I really am. I called her one day, and I said, Grandma, I have something to tell you. After the pause of silence, she said, you know what? You're my grandson. I've always loved you. You're my grandson. And I just remember feeling relieved.
So that's her coming out story. What's yours?
What is yours?
Tell us your coming out story. And if you're not out, we got your back. Yeah.
We're obsessed with him, and it's just like, my son. They ask about my wife. I don't have a wife. I have a husband. And fuck you if you don't like it.